Hello and welcome. I have quite a backlog of splitting that I need to get done here, and we're going to use my new massive chopping block and try it out today. But I am kind of backed up. If you can see how big all of these piles of mulch are, those are piled up out of the wheelbarrow, and that is thick. That has to be spread out. So all of this mulch is kind of in the way. I can't even get my wheelbarrow up here to stack any more piles or anything. So it's kind of like a puzzle right now. All of this stuff has to be split and moved off of these pallets, and I need to spread this mulch thin with a rake before I can bring any more wood into the woodyard. No more wood can be brought into the woodyard really, because I am full stacking. And if you look up here towards my house, I have it stacked up. I mean, there's a little room, but I don't want it to stack on the ground. It needs to be up off the ground. I'm full, and the wood chips are holding me back. And my wood hauling truck also needs an oil change, so that's something else that needs to be done. But anyways, let's get on with the splitting today, and that's just kind of what's going on around here. Hootski doo! Hootski doo! Look at that knot. In case you can't tell, this is cherry that I'm splitting. It's just some beautiful wood. The more I'm around it, the more I like it. I got a bunch of it stacked outside my back door, and I was out there last night, and it just smells so good. I mean, it smells like a fresh jar of cherries, and some of my wood chip mulch is also cherries, and there was some little tiny fruits in it, which are basically little tiny red cherries. And it just smells awesome too when it gets all chipped up. So I really like this wood. I'm glad to have it. It's so nice I don't even want to burn it. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, it's going to go bad if I don't burn it, but I'll probably use it to smoke some food with and everything, and next year I'll burn it. Not this winter, but next winter. But after this cherry, I'm going to move on to the maple, because the maple is primarily what's in the way of spreading my wood chips. I have like 2 pallets of maple, which, I mean, it's like, I don't know, probably almost a cord of maple. It's like 2 full truckloads. So I need to get all this maple moved, because I was in the process of splitting maple before I came upon this cherry, and I don't want it to get out of line. I don't want to have like a big line of maple and then do cherry and then go back to maple. You know, I got like, you know, 2/3 of a cord of maple, and then I would start doing cherry, and then I'd throw cherry in, and then I'd go back to maple. So I want to keep all the maple in a group and all the cherry in a group. So I just needed to get these 2 cherry logs out of the way, because one of them was already in the wheelbarrow, whatever. And then on to the maple. Okay, that was all cherry. Now we're on to some maple. You may be marveling at my outfit today and my white legs, but that's what I'm doing. Is I'm trying to get some sun on my legs, and I'm wearing boots because it's been raining all night and it's wet outside. So I threw those boots on because I just didn't want to get my other shoes all wet and grass clippings all over them and everything. The boots were already kind of dirty. This is a matter of function and not form. Thank you very much. This maple splits like a dream. It's just so easy. Look at that. I split all those little thin pieces like this just because it's easier to lay them down than to stand them up. You can see the angle on the end of these logs where they don't really stand up straight all the time. So if they get into a little thin plank like that, it's easier just to lay them down flat and split them. It splits so nice. I was wondering how that piece of wood got stuck in the ground so far, and if you look at the slow motion, I actually hammered it in with my sledgehammer. These rounds are all halved already because I knocked them down real quick to load my truck. You can fit a lot more wood if well, really the more you split them, but once the truck starts getting to the top of the rails, then you can't put like a big full round on top or it'll roll off. But if you split it in half, like an 8 or a 10-inch round like those are, you can really pack them in there in all the little spaces and they don't roll because they're flat. So that's why they're split already. Now I gotta move some wood chips around just so I can stack this stuff. You can't really tell on the camera, but The wood chips are like in big piles out of the wheelbarrow. They're like 18, 20-inch tall mounds. So I can't get my wheelbarrow through there. And they're already kind of starting to break down. If you notice how dusty they are, that is a natural process that wood chips go through. And they've been down for like 6 days. And it's rained and stuff, but that's what happens is the sun blocks that top layer, but underneath where it stays wet and dark and everything, they start to break down, and all of the natural wood decomposition processes, they begin to happen beneath the surface of the wood chip mulch. And this stuff does not grow when it's exposed to sunlight and the air. It's a totally natural process. It's not harmful to plants or the soil or anything. It's actually a good thing. It's the wood chips breaking down into useful nutrients that the plants will be able to use and be bioavailable in the soil and everything in the long run. So that's what you're seeing, that kind of dusty stuff underneath the wood chips. And because it is kind of a messy job, I guess what I'm going to have to do is try to get all of this wood split down to where, at least it's like one manageable pile, and then I'll do one more raking of the wood chips so I don't keep disturbing it over and over and over again while they are basically composting. I have to be honest, I want to hurry up and get this job done, but I don't want to move that firewood like 4 times. I don't want to move it all and throw it in the grass and then rake the wood chips and then have to move it out of the grass back onto pallets and then off the pallets to split it, and then after I split it, move it again and stack it. So, if you do firewood, you know how it is. You want to touch the wood as little as possible. So I'm going to just have to be patient from here on out with the wood chips. I was going to do a video of just spreading wood chips, but it's not really working out that way because I already did some today. But for the rest of them, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the wood over the next week or two, at least until I get it into a small pile that I can move easily. And then I'll do one final raking of smoothing out all those wood chips. And then I'll be able to move all my pallets back into place and stack the wood back on them. And I'll be ready to get more wood into the wood yard and everything to be split at that point.
Say, don't need anything. You got your problems, you're in a bind. Just fuck it all and leave it